All right, guys, so today we're checking out what would be considered a very premium gaming headset. And the pair that we're going to check out is the Corsair Virtuoso RGB Wireless XT. Now, that is a very long name and probably the only time I'm going to say the full name throughout this video, but what these are technically a wireless gaming headset that can also be used wired, but they have multiple different ways of connecting that kind of makes them like a one-stop shop pair of headphones that can just be used on pretty much any device that you have. But because this is a premium headset, it also comes with a premium price tag. Comes in retailing at $270. But we will see what all these headphones are capable of. We'll talk about the mic quality, the sound, see what all you get inside the box, and see if it is actually worth the $270 price tag. Now, to start with, I do want to say that on the box, it says that it works with the PC, Mac, PS5, and PS4, but because of its connection options, you can technically use it on anything that you want to use it on, because it does have a dual wireless mode, which allows you to use the USB dongle that's included, but it also has a Bluetooth connection, so you can use it on your phone or your tablet, and it actually has Qualcomm's aptX HD playback, which is very impressive that they put that on a gaming headset. Now, if you do want to use these wired, it does come with a 3.5mm cable that actually has the inline controls located on it. So if you want to use it on the Nintendo Switch, you could use it that way. But it also comes with a USB cable if you want to plug it into your laptop or your PC or whatever. And the special thing about the USB connection is it has high fidelity 24-bit playback. So if you're somebody that has like high-res audio files, or if you're using streaming services that give you better quality out of your audio, it is extremely nice that technically you could use these as a high-res audio pair of headphones. So that's where you can start to see some of the value. You don't actually have to have a separate gaming headset and a separate pair of headphones, or you don't have to have a wireless pair of headphones and then a wired pair of headphones for your desktop. This one pair can technically just be used in all of these different ways. But some of the things that kind of separate this headset from some of the others is this pair actually has Dolby Atmos playback. So if you're going to use it on your PC, you're going to be able to have that Dolby Atmos surround sound. And I use these while I've been playing through Resident Evil Village, and being able to hear subtle things from different areas and being able to hear that something's like 30 feet away or 6 feet away, it's very impressive what these are actually capable of. Now, the one thing that I do want to say that's really important to have before using these is you really want to download Corsair's iQ software. So you are going to have to plug it into your PC or Mac to be able to do this. And the reason that that's important is that's really the best way to get the most out of these, because it does have some pre-built EQ settings. I really did not like any of the pre-built ones that they had in there, but you are able to customize the EQ and just kind of tune it the way that you want. And we'll talk about that a little bit when we talk about the audio, but I'm going to go ahead and say it right now. You are going to want to tune these your own way out of the box. I wasn't a huge fan of the way that they sounded out of the box. But some other things that you can do is you can adjust the lighting that is on the outside of the ear cups. And the reason that was important to me is I wanted to be able to turn the lighting off if I was going to use them in bed next to my wife, because the lighting can be pretty bright to somebody that's just laying next to you. And then as far as anything else, you can control the side tone controls. So basically, while you're using the microphone, if you want to be able to hear yourself kind of being played back so that you're not yelling in the headset, you still have to control that through the software. And really, that's one of my biggest complaints about this headset. As far as being able to just shut off the lighting or change the lighting, or even just being able to switch through some of the different EQ options, I actually have to plug the headset into my computer each time. So I really wish that they would have put more controls on the actual headphones themselves. And I think that just would have added to this pair being one that you could just use on the go. It does come with a really nice cross-stitch storage pouch. One thing I do want to say about this though is it's still a pouch. This is a $270 pair of headphones that I really think would have benefited from having a hard case. And as far as the battery life on these, you're going to get around 15 hours on a single charge. And I think that's really impressive considering that they have 50mm drivers, and also the fact that, if you want to, you can use them wired and not have to worry about battery life at all. Now, as far as the headset itself, I do think that the headset is very well constructed. You can tell that it's in a brushed aluminum. The padding on the headband is very thick. It's very soft. And the same thing goes for the ear pads. You can tell that they went with a memory foam. It's kind of a pleather material on the outside, but it's extremely soft. The ear pads are fairly large and they are a round shape. So I don't think it really matters what size ears you have. I don't think you'll have any discomfort when it comes to using these, which is kind of surprising. If you look at them, they look like a very large and heavy pair of headphones. But because of the brushed aluminum, it is extremely light. Now, as far as the rest of the build and the design, on the left-hand side is where you would be plugging everything in. You have the USB-C input, you have a 3.5mm jack for the headphone cable, and then you have a proprietary connection for the detachable microphone. Now, the microphone on here, they advertise as broadcast quality. You guys can be a judge by listening to a test here. All right, guys, so here is a mic test using the headset. As you can tell, it is very impressive how clean my voice is, and it's also really impressive how well it picks up the bass tones. You'll also notice that it's not picking up like the poppings of P's or hissing of S's. I was just really blown away by the quality of this microphone. In fact, I think this quality of the microphone sounds just as good as the one that I use for my normal videos. But this just kind of gives you an idea of what it would sound like on the other end if you were using this while gaming. So now getting back to the controls on the headset. Now all of your controls are located on the right side. You have the little switch that shows you if you're going to be using these in USB mode or using them wirelessly. You also have a volume wheel, but if you're using these in Bluetooth mode, you actually have the Bluetooth buttons located on here as well. So there's a multifunction button, which allows you to play, pause, skip your tracks forward and go backwards. And then you also have your volume up and down. So now let's move over to talking about the sound. These are using 50mm drivers that they say are precisely tuned. But I do want to say out of the box, they're precisely tuned to not have a whole lot of life in the sound. I felt like it lacked punch in the low end. I felt like the treble didn't get bright enough, and I felt like they kind of played it safe when it came to the mids. Now, if you're somebody that's gaming or somebody that's used to gaming, you know that you want the mids pushed up quite a bit because you want to be able to hear dialogue. You want to be able to hear subtle footsteps. So I did have to go through and kind of bump that up a little bit. Now, I personally like a slightly bright treble, so I tune that up a little bit as well. And I also like a little more punch in the low end, so I was able to boost that within the software as well. And once I got it EQ'd the way that I wanted, it was just a completely different pair of headphones. It just had a lot more punch to it. Now, this is not a bass-heavy headphone, so if you are somebody that likes to feel rumble or kind of like that subwoofer type effect, I don't really think these are capable of that. I think that they're doing a much better job of keeping bass precise. It does have plenty of kick to it. It just doesn't have that low end rumble to it. The mids on these sounded absolutely fantastic. For games, it was easy to pick up dialogue. It was easy to pick up just subtle things. But I do want to say, if you're somebody that likes a very bright treble or almost to the point of being harsh, that's one thing I don't think these are capable of either. I think the fact that they just like finely tuned the bass in a way to keep it from being overpowering, I felt like they did the same thing with the treble to just keep it kind of in this safe zone so that it doesn't cause like listening fatigue. So it's actually quite surprising the sound quality that you're getting out of these. And that's where I think it kind of excelled. And I think that's what made it a pair that I could use for gaming and movies and music and not feel like I'm sacrificing anything because I'm using a gaming headset. Now, when it comes to the Soundstage and the sound imaging, if you're going to be using this on a PC where you're able to use the Dolby Atmos feature, it opens these things up so much. Again, I was playing it with Resident Evil, and it really felt like I was in that environment. You can hear like crows off at a distance. You could hear different things in the grass and the wind blowing, and it just added to that whole eerie effect of playing the game. So as far as a gaming headset, it's absolutely incredible. Now, if you're gonna watch movies on your PC, having that Dolby feature is also nice, but even just using these in stereo mode, still felt like they sounded fairly open. They definitely made me feel like I was in a much larger room, and I just had no issues with being able to tell where different things were coming from. So yes, it's an expensive pair of headphones at $270, but if you are somebody that uses headphones and gaming headsets in all of these different ways, it is pretty nice to have one pair that can do all of that. And it does all of those things extremely well. Now, it does have those few cons of, I wish that it had, you know, a little more controls on the headset itself. And then the only other thing is, if you are somebody that is a bass head or somebody that just likes an overly bright treble, I think there are limitations that I think they're doing that on purpose to just keep these sounding more natural and not causing listening fatigue. So I understand what they're trying to do, but I also feel like it kind of holds it back if you're somebody that just wants to push things as far as they can possibly go. But if you're looking for more of like a high-end audio experience, I think Corsair was aiming for that. And I think this is a fantastic pair for just listening to all different types of media and then switching to gaming. I think even the audio using these Bluetooth on my phone just sounds incredible. I was very impressed what they were able to do with these. Definitely feels like you're getting your money's worth, but do keep in mind it's still a lot of money. But guys, that's my video on the brand new Corsair Virtuoso RGB wireless XTs. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.